Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Njablo James, the host of the NJ podcast, where we talk with people from all walks of life. I don't care whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, you're a happy man, and as a result, you create some happy socks. It doesn't matter where you come from, because I honestly believe that we all have a story to share and a message to give to the world. And the theme that this podcast is based off of is success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means that you're going after what you've always wanted to go after, because it's in alignment with your highest values, and that is the only way for you to live a truly fulfilled life. And just as a note, this is episode 20 that we're shooting, and it is the finale for season 1 of the AJ podcast. I didn't know I'd get to this point, but we managed to get here. So thank you very much for all the support and for the loyal listeners that have been part of this. And I'm very excited for the guest that I have here. I've been prospecting him for a couple of months now. And he is a very enterprising person, and I'm going to just read out what his business is about, and then we're going to go into the discussion, because this is a very dynamic, entrepreneurial, and well-connected man. So he owns an enterprise called Soxx, and just a quick brief about them. Soxx By Imbe is a high-end premium socks brand established in September 2019 that combines unique designs and craftsmanship. It's fast becoming South Africa's most comfortable tool to spread happiness and style. Founded on passion, vision, and drive by a young entrepreneur, this socks brand is determined to give stylish, quality, and comfortable socks at a low price. We ensure you confidence and great feeling when wearing the socks. With the vision to bring back colourful socks trend, we are determined to give your feet a personality. So just a brief bit of his story. In 2019, founder Imbelani Netshanku wanted to find an interesting and innovative way to inspire the youth and show them that anything is possible. Born and bred in Pretoria, a city of fashion and color, he developed the love of wearing colorful socks. When the colorful socks trend hit, he was the leader of the pack. He owned all types of socks until 2019, when he decided to start his own socks brand. When he started, what started off as a joke in class with his classmates has grown into something so magnificent. This was an idea sparked by his mates as they saw his love for colorful socks and how he would always have them on. But he never put in consideration till he was home and watching the Durban July, that very expensive place, eh? It's very expensive. And there was a segment that had a youth showcase their brands, and from there, Soxx By Imbe was born. In his time of existence, they've brought nothing but the best, and when the summer range was introduced in November 2019, it made a good impression and sold really quick. It brought comfort, love, happiness, and brought style, which is why they are ultimately here to give your feet a personality. Soxx By Imbe is also the first socks brand in Mzansi to sell socks in a box. This innovative and fun way allows you to get the best of both in one box. The Soxx box brought great excitement to people and really proves how Soxx By Imbe is different and unique from other brands. I can't wait to get myself a pair or more than one pair of socks, as you can see as they're lovely displayed over here. I cannot wait. So, Imbelani.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me today.
Right, other than that very colorful introduction and bio, can you just get in your own words, just give us who you are, what your journey is, and a couple of things that not a lot of people will know about you.
Well, I'm Imbelani, born and bred in Pretoria, like we said in the bio. A very simple guy, quiet but loud, fun, outgoing, all that. I'm that vibey type of person, but also focused. I'm very focused in what I do. I love what I do. One thing I've learned in life is you must have passion for you must be passionate for something you do in order to excel in it. So yeah, that's how I am. I'm passionate about my business. That's why I'm hoping to excel in it in future terms. Yeah, that's really it. About me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you started this in 2019.
Yeah.
Then the best friend for everyone COVID 2019 started as well. So like, you know, it's a very fearful time. It's very tough out there. Many businesses have closed. Many people have stopped. Many people have moved back home with their parents, and then they're still trying to find jobs. Many people didn't make it out this year alive. So in the face of that adversity, what is keeping you going as an entrepreneur, as a person to say, I'm still going to carry on with the Soxx brand, even though all hell is broken loose outside there?
You know, once you start something, you always have like the bigger picture, future terms. You know, you don't prepare for the challenges that happen in between, but you are always ready, and the bigger picture keeps on playing in your mind. Like, no matter how bad it is during the period or during the time you're doing your work, at the end of the day, you want to achieve what you want to achieve. You know, what's in your head. That's the bigger picture. So I feel like the bigger picture has been in my mind the whole time. It's been playing crazy in my head, you know. And during COVID, one thing I've learned and I've seen is people had a lot of money. Okay, some people had a lot of money, some lost jobs, yes. Some people had a lot of money and they didn't know what to do with it. So it was time for us retail people to shine. Like, during COVID was the best time for people to start selling their own thing, you know. So I feel like that also benefited us in one way, but in another way, people who were losing jobs and so forth and so forth, it was a bit sad for them, you know. It was touching to see people lose jobs at a time like this, you know. Imagine losing a job and you have a family at home relying on you and all that, you know. That is ultimately why I feel like we need to start creating more sustainable jobs. COVID has taught a lot of businessmen that there are going to be periods where there's not going to be money coming in, but then that don't mean you must retrench people, you must fire people, you know. Keep on working until the end. Yeah.
So what is that bigger picture? That's a picture that's pulling you to go through all this. Because I mean, okay, so COVID-19 was a great time for you to be innovative, for you to do things that other people didn't want to do, so you could have what other people didn't want to have. So okay, you got the platform, you got the opportunity. Obviously, you started in 2019, which is over a year ago. Happy birthday! So now, what is that bigger picture? Or like, what is that long-term view, that 5 to 10 year view? Because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see you as a person who's just doing this for like 1 year or just 2 years and just quitting. So what is that bigger picture, that long-term view that you have?
The long-term view I have is to personally, the business must have its own factory, you know, produce and manufacture my own socks in my own factory, you know. Yeah. And also to create sustainable jobs. I'm very passionate about people, you know, like I don't like seeing people with no jobs, etc. So in my view, I'd like to create jobs for people, you know, sustainable jobs where everyone will eat, you know. Let's all eat. Yeah. So to open a factory and to open multiple stores around the country and hopefully around the world.
Around the world.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that you basically want to own the value chain,
everything.
So you want to own your own factory, own your own stores, own your own social media. You want to own
the
everything.
Whole value chain, yes.
Yeah, the whole value chain.
Yes.
Why do you think that's important?
It's important because you start when you have value chain, you create, like I said, you create more jobs.
Yeah,
you create more jobs. That means one thing I've learned in business, for your business to boom and for your business to be up there, you need to create jobs, you know. People need to really see that you are creating jobs. They need to see that you are trusted, you know. I'll use an example of my favorite brand, Batu. You can see he doesn't have the whole value chain, but then you can see that they're creating sustainable jobs for everyone. Throughout lockdown, they did open, they were getting their pay and so forth and so forth. And then after that, people really did see that this is a trusted brand, we can work with this, and then they went with it fully, you know. So owning your own value chain, cuts, supplier things and all that, you start doing it on your own, you know. You supply for yourself, you deliver for yourself, that whole thing. Yeah.
But like, isn't that a bit of a headache? Because employing people in South Africa, you know how difficult that is.
I'm not sure if it's a headache. We'll see when I do employ people.
Yeah.
But I think everything's a challenge, you know. I love challenges personally. I love solving things. So I feel like this is one challenge I want to tackle.
So what is the biggest challenge that you faced in the past year that you've started with the brand, the Soxx By Imbe brand?
Getting the brand out there, getting the brand
marketing,
to the people. Marketing must be the hardest thing for, I'm sure, pretty much every retail local retailer. Yeah, like local brands. That's the hardest thing, because we're competing with shops like your Mr. Price, your Woolworths, your Yeah, those shops where they do big large numbers of socks at a lower price, then they can sell them at around 20 rand, at around 15 rand, and people already trust Mr. Price, so we're competing against people that are already trusted, coming new into the market, trying to win clients over. So that trust is hard to find. Yeah.
So how do you foster that trust? Because that's a bit of a difficult thing.
It's a difficult
because
thing.
I know, for me, for example, I'm a Red Bull fan. Someone comes up with a new energy drink. It's going to take quite some time for me to say I'm going to switch over to whatever. Let's call it Blue Bull. So it comes up with Blue Bull. Like, okay, now I need to switch over to you. So. Because I've been trusting this brand for many years, entrenched in the culture, and then now now you're telling me that you want to switch over. What's that unique selling proposition that makes you win over people from a Soxx perspective? How do you go about doing that?
The only way to win over people is for them to come buy the product and see how it is, Just what I encourage people to do is to try out the product before judging the product. People like complaining about pricing and all that, but before they even try the product, there's a reason for pricing a product so high. It's not only because they want to make a profit and all that. In the start of your business, you don't make a profit. I'm sure many entrepreneurs can agree with me. For the first 2 years of your business, there's no profit coming in, because you have to enter the market. That's why you start pricing low, you enter the market, you price low. That means you're making a loss. And then as time goes by, you gradually go higher and higher and higher. That's when you've won people's trust. The lower the prices are, that means people can start buying, and then now they feel the product, okay, this product is quality, let's go again. And then that's how they'll always come back. So buying the product is one way of people knowing what this is about, Yeah, that I always encourage people to try it out before judging it.
And what are some of the rejections that you get to say, like, I don't want to buy this sock? Why should I buy it?
I get a lot of them actually. You get people saying that I don't wear colorful socks. I don't wear long socks. I want white socks. What that whole thing. It's the people wear socks. Yes, like socks are worn everywhere. Everyone wears socks. The only problem is people getting people to wear your socks. That's where the bridge is hard. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, like, who are like some of your who's your ideal customer? The person that you say, I want you to wear this sock specifically.
At first, I was looking at businessmen and all that, but then, like, I opened my eyes and I saw that anyone can actually put on a fit and then have socks on, more especially if they are colorful and they go with your outfit, then why not rock them? So everyone can wear socks. Yeah,
but like, okay, so take me for example. My favorite color is black. You would have noticed by now. My favorite color is black. So then like how will Happy Socks help me out? Because I just like black, and then maybe white socks and black socks.
The nice thing about black is it's a base color. It goes with any color. So no matter if you wear red socks, pink socks, it'll go. Your outfit is good. You can rock black as a base color, so it's good.
So it'll go with all my socks.
Everything.
Okay.
You can take the whole collection. Take but buy.
I can see the good quality now. Okay. I'm gonna try that one now because my feet are not the most beautiful on earth. Yeah. So also one thing I want to applaud you on is being. Yeah. How young are you again?
I'm 18 years.
Huh?
18 years.
You're 18 years young. You at least look 30. No, I'm kidding. So 18 years young, you've decided that you're going to go into business and entrepreneurship. That is a very brave thing to do. A very, very crazy thing to do, because you're going into a field where you're more likely to fail than you are to succeed, and you're more likely to die and quit and say, I'm going to go back and go get a job where there's structure, get in at 8 and leave at 3 o'clock, and there's an agenda at the end of the day.
My problem is I don't want to get a job.
You don't want to get a job.
I don't want to.
You want to create them.
I want to create jobs.
Okay,
that's my problem. I remember my aunt. My aunt once texted me. She was talking to one of her friends. They were talking about me, and then she's like, this boy is gonna be a problem because this boy doesn't want to get a job. So if this doesn't work, he'll be jobless. And I'm like, I will be jobless if this doesn't work. It's nothing. It's this or nothing.
That's a gladiator mentality.
It's this or nothing.
That's a gladiator mentality. You say there's no other option.
There's no other option. No other option.
That makes you one dangerous somebody. That makes you very dangerous, because you're saying that if this bridge, like you burn the bridge, if it doesn't work out, so now it has to work out. You don't know how, but it just has to work out. Why is it that you don't want to? You've never thought of ever getting a job, or that you don't want to get a job? Was it your personality? Is it how you grew up, or you do not see the value in job, or what is it?
Most probably how I grew up. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. My mom is an entrepreneur. My dad was also a part-time entrepreneur here and there, you know. So I feel like I got that spirit from them, you know. My mom is self-employed; she works for herself.
Yeah.
So I think I got that thing from her. And growing up, I just never saw the thing of working for someone that it's gonna work for me. I just felt like maybe I should create jobs, you know. It's better that way.
Was it just was it an accumulation of events, or was it just that one day where you're like, okay, I've had it. I'm never going to work for someone.
I'm sure it was just the accumulation of events, but then just one day it just came to me that okay, yeah, no, this is me. This is where I'm going. This is my path. You know?
Yeah, that's your path. And then have you faced people that told you that you're crazy, you shouldn't do this? And who were those people?
Every day.
Every day. 365 days of the year.
Every day. Like you get people, you know, some people are inspired about how you push, you know. They'll tell you, oh, we're so inspired by your work, but why Soxx? And I'll be like, that question, why Soxx, is the reason why I'm doing Soxx, you know. That mystery, I want to solve that mystery and show people that it's possible. In the bio, it did say, I want to show young people that anything's possible. Yeah, so that's basically what I believe in, man. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. So every day, there are family members that have told me that I'm crazy for doing this, you know. I remember when I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna sell Soxx. She laughed.
She laughed.
She laughed. She's like, Soxx? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sell Soxx. And then 1 year down the line, here we are. I remember when I brought this range. It's like a lot of boxes. Like this was our biggest stock take. So it's a lot of boxes. So when I got home, she walked in and she's like, what's in these boxes? I'm like, Soxx. She cried for a moment because she was like, wow, he really pulled it off. Like he really wants this that bad that he went the extra mile. And then she asked me, how am I gonna sell these Soxx? And I'm like, hey, Mom, only God knows, but we're doing this, you know.
Yeah. So in essence, it's funny how the people who you expect to understand don't understand. And funny, some of the people who you didn't expect to understand actually understand. So like, was that not a hard thing for you to say, or did you not really care?
I mean, I wouldn't say I expected it, you know. Like there are some people where you tell them and you expect a certain reaction from them, and then when they react this way, it like breaks your heart, you know. You get discouraged and you're like, man, I expected so much better from this person. And then you go somewhere else where you're expecting something negative, and then they give you the response you wanted. I feel like it also covers up. You start feeling better about yourself. But I feel like you don't really need people's approval to do anything, you know. If it's in you, it's in you. You know, trust yourself, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need anybody's approval. You don't care.
You don't need anyone's approval.
You don't. No one. Not even Jesus. I'm joking. You know, it was approval. That's a very powerful mindset. You'd be surprised how some people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they still haven't got their life figured out, and they're still wanting everyone else's approval, which is amazing. So, what are some of the things that you've gotten wrong in the entrepreneurship journey? What is it that you feel that you could have done better at? When you're starting out, I know this thing is still young, but over a year, there's a lot that can happen in a year.
There's a lot that has happened.
Yeah, so what are some of the things that you felt that you got wrong, that you could have improved on?
One thing is mindset, you know. My mindset was a bit, it was, at the start, it was good. Like, you know, when you start something, you're so confident with it and all that. And then when you finally do it and you see that this thing is hard, you start slacking, like, damn, so this is how hard it is, like, that's for real, this is where we are now. Yeah, so that thing, it killed me, you know, because I remember when we got the first batch of Soxx, I was so excited. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna sell this out the first 2 weeks of December. Yeah, it's gonna be good. The Soxx arrived 1 week passed, no sales. 2
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
weeks passed, no sales. 3
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
weeks passed, no sales.
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
And I'm like, damn, this thing is hard, you know. So that thing, yeah, yo, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Like, it's not. Business is not easy. I feel like the first challenge is mindset that I could have changed. I could have told myself that business is this way, it's this way. Now that I know that it won't always be how you've imagined it, I'm much better now because I fit myself into places where I never knew I'd be, you know. Crowd, like, what can I say? I don't know how to put it, but put yourself in an uncomfortable situation every time. Find a way to get out. That's the best way to beat any challenge, you know. Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the other thing because people find that, you know, that entrepreneurship it's a sexy thing. It's this thing that, you know, you're going to open up a business, make a couple of phone calls, then you're going to be successful. But you're saying it's not like that. You got to work, and you've got to work hard. So what are some of the sacrifices that you've had to make?
You know, family time, time with friends. I had to sacrifice that a lot in order to focus on the business, you know, like especially in terms of funding the business. Yeah, that was really hard because I had to put in my money and all that, you know. And as a 18-year-old, okay, well, when I started I was 17, but as a 17-year-old, you expected that when you get money, you spend it with friends, you know, go out and all that. It was different with me, and it was like, oh, I get money, but then my money goes straight to the business. Damn, we're living different lives, you know. I feel like that's where I realized that I'm not a normal teenager. I'm not an average teenager, you know. Apart from what I'm doing, just the basic things like getting money and them using it to buy new clothes and new whatnot, and then I have to get money and put it into the business, you know, hoping that it's gonna come back, you know, because you never know what happens in the future. You never know. Like opening a business in itself, it's a risk, you know. The moment you start putting in money, it's a risk. You never know if that money will come back, but with passion and drive, like I said, you put it in, it will definitely come back because you're gonna definitely put in the work. Yeah. So
do you have a form of a proverbial safety net? None. None. No safety net.
Yeah, I'm glad you came up with that because I was watching some interview where they were interviewing an artist, and then they asked him why he dropped out of school, and he was like, the reason I dropped out is because I don't want to have a safety net. It's music or it's nothing. You know, it's music or it's nothing. So this has to work. Yeah, he was like. That's the problem about many people, especially us black people. You know, we start businesses, but then we still work. We start businesses, but then we still work. So most of your time you're at work, and then the 20% of your time you focusing on your business. So you expect your business to give you 100% while you give it 20%. It's impossible, you know. Give it 100%, it'll give you 100%. You know. Yeah. So that, and the reason people do that is so that. What if my business fails? That means I have a job. At least I have a job, you know. At least I have a job. I have something I'm pushing. But then, in real essence, you must leave the job and focus on the business. I'm not saying don't go to school. Don't get me wrong. Don't go to school. Don't.
That's exactly what it's saying, people. It's saying going to school is a waste of your time. Stop going to school. Go start businesses. No. I'm quoting him now. I'm joking. That's not what he's saying. That's not what you're saying.
No, they are. I'd like to believe that unique few people like. In the world that are meant for this risk, you know. Not everyone is ready for that risk, you know. The stress that comes with it, you know. Having to tell your parents that, oh, moms, hey, I don't want to go to school next year because of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I swear she didn't talk to me for a whole week. When I told her, I was like, wow. Yeah, moms, I'm not going to school next year. And then she was like, what you planning on doing? And I'm like, I'm planning on pushing my business. And then she looked at me and she's like, you crazy, not in my house. And I'm like, but moms. And then yeah, that the argument went on from there. But then I finally managed to convince her, because I feel like she saw that I'm really serious and passionate about this, so I'll do everything in my power to push it and make it successful, you know. Yeah.
What did she end up saying at the end?
Do whatever you want to do.
It's not in my house.
Oh no, why? It's in the house now. Hey, she just has to be strong.
Well, kick you out, you be strict.
Hey. No, like I really do have a supportive family, you know. They very, very supportive, you know. My sister, my mom, and my aunt. and my brother. Like it's a very small family, you know. Yeah, so they're very tight, very supportive, you know. Everything I do it for them, basically. That's my life. I feel like my life is to just make them proud, you know.
Yeah. So like they say in business or entrepreneurship, you need to have a why. There's something that's pulling you. That's something that's that why that says this is why I'm doing it, and no matter how hard it is, no matter how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do this because here are my reasons why. For me personally, my why that keeps me going is my mom and dad. My family to come, greater heights of achievement, and then also my grandfather who passed away at the age of 75. He passed away way too young for me, way too young for me. Like I honestly wish you would have seen what I could have become now. So hence now 75 is one of my favorite numbers because he passed away at that age. So when I see 75, I'm like, okay, that's a why. And now I can't stop what I'm doing. And also another thing is that when you say to the world, this is what you're going to do, now everyone's watching. I'm like, let's see if he's going to do what he's saying he's going to do. And now you don't want to make liars out of everyone because you were just too lazy to go and do whatever it is that you want to do. So what is that why of yours?
My why is my family, myself also. Like between those things, we've been through a lot. Like my family has been through a lot in the past years, like the whole family thrashing, the name, you know, all that. Like I feel like it is up to me to rebuild our name and make it great again, you know. Yeah, I feel like that's it's in me.
Make Imbe great again. What happened? What was that? If you're able to share.
I won't share in detail, but then there was a lot of family debates that separated families. That's why I'm saying my family is basically based on 5-6 people, that are really close to me, that are in my circle. It's my mom, my aunt, my sister, my brother, and my granny. That's the 5. That's the 5. And now that I'm realizing, the new range is called the Big 5. So the Big 5 is my family. The Big 5 is the new range. You know, so those are the type of things that are driving me to do these things. You know, they've been through so much, and I feel like, as young as I am, I feel like I have the ability, and I'll do it in my all to rebuild our family name, you know. I want to see my mom living in a dream house. Before my granny passes, I want to build her dream house, the one she wanted when she was still young, you know. My sister, I want to buy her dream car. My aunt is also in business, you know. So most of the time I get my advice from her and all that. I just want to thank her at some point, you know. My brother is also into business. He's actually an STC's sound engineer. So I want him to build his dream business, you know, around that industry. With my assistance, you know. That's basically what I feel like I can do, you know.
That's a powerful thing. I mean, also like because it's not just you. Now it's an entire family. I mean, I remember hearing a story of someone who I think they were of Asian descent, and you know the guys like the South Koreans, people who come from China. They generally, this is a generalization, they are excellent at maths. I haven't met one who wasn't very good with mathematics. So then the guy was in a class and was asked by somebody else, was like, you're so good at maths. And then this Asian guy said, I'm not, I actually hate maths. I hate it. I hate it. You know, like, but like, why are you so good at it? Why are you still doing it? It's like, because I don't want to shame the dynasty. I'm like, you don't want to shame the dynasty. Do you know what a dynasty is? That's like hundreds and hundreds of years. So that's why some of the people are just so driven, because they're serving something that's bigger than themselves, and that's greater than themselves. So that's in essence what you're doing with Soxx By Imbe.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. It's not. I won't say it's a family business, but then it's driven by family. You know, the base of it is for family. The reason I started Soxx By Imbe was the main reason was to make my mom great again. I keep on telling her that I'm gonna do everything in my power to make you happy and to make you proud, you know. So I do everything I do for her,
even though like she doesn't understand you.
She doesn't understand me partially, because like I've seen her, when I tell her some of my ideas, she just looks at me and she's like, what goes on in this child's head? she's like, no man, this one is not. He's not normal. He's not normal because she's the one I'm always with. Like basically every day in the house. If I'm at home, I'm with her. So I feel like I get everything that comes into my mind. I need to express it. To make it come to reality, because if I just keep it in my head, it's gonna become too much and I'm gonna leave it alone. So I express it to her, and then when I tell her, like sometimes she just look at me and she's like, no man, this one is not normal. So yeah, and there are some crazy things that I've told her, and then she just looks at me and she's like, how are you gonna achieve this? And I'm like, hey moms, don't worry, I'm gonna do it.
You're going to. I don't know,
but I'm gonna do it.
You're going to do it. That's great. So like, who are some of the friends that you keep in the circle? Not exactly who, but what is their character like? Because there's a saying that you are the sum of your environment, and your network equals the network.
You are what your friends are.
Yeah.
My friends, we are all, I'd say, different in personality, but then when we come as one, it's a focused thing. We all want one goal. Like I said in the beginning, the bigger picture. We all focused on that. We want that bigger picture that we all imagining. Not everyone is gonna go the same route, entrepreneurial, what. No. Like everyone has their own path, but then the bigger picture is one. To be and on top. I remember we were once talking about our futures in at the closing of the whole discussion. I said that let's meet at the top. That's all I left them with, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna definitely meet at the top. That's one thing I said. But when we're together, it's basically we're talking about goals, what we want in life, how we're gonna get there, how we're gonna work there. I like to believe that they are entrepreneurs themselves, but then they are not really entrepreneurs. Some of them are into accounting and music and football and all that. So we scattered, but then we meet at the top.
So then, going back to that, do they support you, or do you get challenged by them? Do they sometimes bring you down? No,
not really. They support me in everything I do, man. They know that I am the crazy type, like I think of crazy things. And
happy Soxx. Okay.
I think of crazy ideas, and then I want to fulfill them. So if I ever tell them something, they be like, here he goes again, but I know he's gonna get it, So they also push me in that sense. They be like, yeah, you can do this. We know you can do this and all that. So yeah, they push me to do great things.
Have you had to fire some friends? You haven't been fired friends?
Not that I know of.
Oh, that day is coming.
Maybe. But then like the bond we have right now, we basically grew up together, So the bond we have right now is very solid. I don't think anything or anyone can come in between.
So we've seen this year COVID-19, how things have been going, and then we've also been hearing stories from, I don't want to go too political, but at the end of the day, as business people, entrepreneurs, we have to go political at the end of the day, because if you think about it, service delivery, politics, your suppliers, politics. They pass a policy,
everything is politics.
It impacts you, especially in retail now with things shutting down, certain regulations that is politically driven. What it is from a government perspective, I'm speaking to you as a young entrepreneur, how is it that you feel that they can help us as entrepreneurs? How do you feel that they can help us?
During lockdown, I feel like people got a chance to actually think about what they really want in life. Many of them started businesses during lockdown, so what I feel like business should focus more on is business funding, without a doubt, whenever you go and knock and ask for funding, the government should grant you funding with no problems and all that.
With zero interest.
With no problems, because I feel like the more businesses we have, the less unemployment there will be, But then the problem is not everyone can be a business and all that and all that. I understand. But then the little that we have, the little people we have in the business industry, if we could all go knock at government and say we would like a loan of so much, government should be like, okay, you are granted your loan, It shouldn't be that hard. So I feel like business funding should be top priority from here on in government.
Have you approached the government for funding before?
No, I am about to though.
You're about to?
For the next project.
That's why I asked you. What's the funding? I've heard that it can be a nightmare because you have to submit all this documentation, then you have to be taken. You're thrown from meeting to meeting to meeting. I'm not saying this is how it is. I'm saying this is how it can be. This is the dark side of asking for funding. It can be you need to fill out like a 67-page business plan, and then you may not certain things you don't know. So it can be a very harrowing process from what I've heard. So when you do that, you must come back and let us know how it works.
Yeah. No. I've also heard that like it's a very lengthy process. You know, it's a very lengthy process. They need a lot of documentation and so forth and so on. But I feel like if you want it, you'll get it. Like you know, you'll make sure you submit everything on time. You'll make sure you do. If they want a 65-page business plan, you'll type it out and make it perfect. You know. So that's what I believe in, man. Besides the lengthy things and all that, if you want a business loan, you must go apply for it. You never know what happens.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So then, okay. So as an entrepreneur, in terms of building this brand, we do live in SA. There have been multiple stories of corruption and misuse of funds, and that was quite interesting. I heard we finished 500 billion.
Yeah, no,
500. Yeah,
you know,
we
didn't even get one rent from that thing.
We didn't buy cars, we didn't buy houses, our girls didn't get weaves, we finished them with mask. And you hear stuff like that, and then you hear stories. So I don't know how true this are. This is what's reported on the news. I don't know how far true it is. But sometimes you hear stories of food parcels that were supposed to be delivered weren't being delivered. Medical aid kits were supposed to be delivered, but they weren't being delivered. And then also, in order for you to get certain favors or to get something granted or to get the funding, they call it elephant tax. You know this.
That one. You know it. That one. Yeah.
Where you have to put it like you're putting something that you didn't necessarily want to do, but because it's how the business works,
that's where you have to go. Yeah. Well, corruption is all over, man. Like we try and run away from it, but then that's the reality we're dealing with. You know, we live with it each and every day. It's happening. It's a real thing. You know, so I'm not saying people should do corrupt things, you know, to get what they want, but the reality is, at one point of your life, you're gonna bump into it, whether you like it or not. You know, because it's there. You're gonna bump into it. So when you do bump into it, you must just, you know, do your thing properly and all that. Not saying you must do it. People, don't get me wrong. Don't be corrupt.
That's exactly what he's saying, people. You should be corrupt out there to get what you want. No, I'm kidding. That's not what he's saying.
Don't be corrupt, guys. It's a bad thing, because when you get caught, it gets messy. You know, it gets messy. But we're living with it, man. We're living with it.
Yeah, every single day.
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah. Have you ever come across it yourself, where they're saying, okay, Imbe, you want this?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say in business, but then in like personal life.
Yeah.
Personal life experience, you know. Me and my brother drive around with no license, so.
Oh, okay.
So whenever we get stopped, you know, it's a matter of negotiation and.
Negotiation.
You know, so going away.
Yeah, you need to give them
the Coca-Cola.
The cold drink.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola money must always be there somewhere.
But in business, what are you willing to do and willing not to do? What's that line that you're willing to cross? And I ask this because I think people judge people who are caught in corruption too harshly. I'm not saying that I'm not condoning people who are caught in corruption. I'm not condoning their behavior. I'm trying to say, okay, let's understand where they're coming from and maybe that find the source of the issue and then fix that. The act itself is not necessarily the issue, I think, but rather the motive behind that act. Some people just like to mess things up and that's them. But what is actually driving another person to do what they did? Because oftentimes you find that they're struggling themselves. else, or they just lost their job, or they're disenfranchised. I'm not condoning their behavior, but trying to understand what the behavior is. And then also they'll look at someone who's caught, and like, this person was caught giving with a 500 billion rand tender, but it didn't build one bridge. What on earth is going on? Why are they like that? But then you judge them too harshly, because if you were in that situation, you do not. What would you do? If you were in this, you would never know.
That's the problem about people. People judge from the outside.
Yeah.
And if they were granted the same opportunity, I bet you 100, let's say 500 billion.
500. No.
They would take it as well. They would take that chance as well if they were given the chance. The thing is, we like judging when we're not in the person's shoes.
Yeah.
More especially, I like referring to the president. People like judging him, but then they're not in his shoes. The man needs to decide if it's either the economy or people's lives.
Yeah.
That's where we are. We are just here saying, damn, Boots is closed. Come on, man. Come on.
New Year's.
Come on. You see, he's beyond that, man. He's beyond that. He's seen the whole of 2021, and he's like, if I don't close this, we're gonna have a lot of graves and funerals and that whole thing, which we ultimately don't want to happen. But then we just want nice time.
Yeah.
We want a nice time. So I feel like if you're not in that person's shoes, don't judge.
Don't judge them, yeah, because you've never been in that person's shoes. Yeah.
If you're not in the person's shoes, don't judge them.
Hey, bro, Cyril, like, I want to give you a message out there. I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna tag President. I sympathize.
Yeah.
I saw the presidential address, and stop stressing the president, guys. Stop stressing the president. You know, the thing is about this. Also, talking about business corruption. Every single one of us is 100%, what I believe, 100% guilty of corrupt behavior. Guilty of corrupt behavior. Because the thing is, if you are dishonest in a slight way, that's a form of corruption. If you are, for example, those who are employees, when you should be doing work, but you're on Facebook, you are being corrupt. And also, like, if I'm selling you something, and I know it's not of the best quality, but I've told you that it is, or that's what you've come to expect, that's corruption. If I'm taking money from you by not giving you the value, that's a form of corruption. I was thinking about this. I had to think a long time for myself. I'm like, actually, am I corrupt? And the answer is yes.
I believe we all are. We all are. In some way, one way or another, we all are corrupt. I don't like speaking about corruption when we're talking about my business, because, like, I don't want people to associate.
I get you.
But then. I like what you said when you said that some people offer low quality things for a certain price, and that's also corruption, because I feel like there are a lot of people doing that. People like focusing on profit. Everything you do is profit. Everything you do is profit. You want the money and all that. Ultimately, in business, yes, we do want it to be profitable, and you must get a source of income off of it, and all that. But it will come if you do things the right way, Every time, focus on doing things the right way. Don't rush the process, because yes, you might start off low and then move higher. But then the foundation is not built properly, Then your house will fall down. And then some of us who are really building the foundation properly, when your house has fell down and we are now scaling higher and higher, and your house has fallen down, you'll come back and ask, but I did this better than him. I did this better than him. But in true essence, you really didn't, because you cheated your way through it, Yeah. So everything, when you build, whatever you're building, whatever you're doing in life, build it the correct way. Start with good foundation, In business, the brand, we sell socks, yes, you can see them, whatnot. Don't focus on the product. Focus on the back end of the business, the marketing, the accounts and all that, and managing the business. Focus on that, and then the brand will push itself. Yeah.
So, like, where I was going with the whole corruption angle is going to question, what are the values you're not willing to compromise on? What are you not willing to compromise on? Someone on the show said, I'm not willing to compromise my integrity. I want to be able to sleep at night. I don't want to enter into a deal where I know people are going to be harmed. I don't want to take a deal or sign a partnership that's going to take away or harm people, or even take away the soul of my business. So what are those core values that Soxx By Imbe is built off of? What are those core values?
I'd also like to agree with one of your people that when they say that integrity, yes, that's really important. You know, integrity is important. I feel like, you know, even though one has to go through such a deal where it harms people and all that, their integrity inside, it's eating them inside. You know, they don't live properly. You know, apart from whatever you see from it, what you feel inside is something else. You know, so integrity, man. We want to be trustworthy. That's one thing I'm saying. Like, I even said that winning trust over. You know, that's one thing personally with my brand. That's what I want to do. I want to win people's trust over. You know, I want the same way. Let me use this example. The same way people call every toothpaste Colgate. I want when you think of colourful Soxx, you think of Soxx by
Soxx,
Imbe.
yeah.
Yes, you just say, oh, Soxx by Imbe. Yeah, that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build that connection with people, you know, that when you think
That's
of...
why Nintendo said the same thing. It says, I don't call them Soxx anymore, I call them Soxx. Exactly.
Exactly. When you type out Soxx, you don't...
Autocorrect must be
it must double X. It must not be CK, you know. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to establish, you know, that whole Colgate method. Yes, that's what we want. And in a way, it's actually pushing Colgate. You know, the more people talk about Colgate, just like you when you say Happy Soxx. Happy Soxx is actually a Swedish brand. It's in Sweden.
Oh wow!
Yes,
I didn't know that. I thought
yes.
it was a term.
No. It's a brand. So they won that over. That's how they killed us. They killed us because now everyone calls colourful Soxx Happy Soxx. I never call Happy Soxx Happy Soxx. Yeah. They colourful Soxx to me.
Yeah.
Because I know that Happy Soxx is pushing another men's brand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
powerful then.
I'd rather call them Soxx.
I'd rather call them Soxx, yeah.
Soxx. Yeah. So that's what we want to do, you know, creating that customer thing that, you know, customers must feel comfortable when they come shop at Soxx By Imbe. You know, they must have that thing, that trust.
Yeah, and like I think the term that you're going after, I think is called brand insistence.
Yes,
where people are insisting on a certain brand. For example, I remember my mother once, you know, when you're old enough to walk, you're old enough to go to the store. So my mother gave me money to go and buy what is it? Dishwashing liquid, toothpaste. Dishwashing liquid and toothpaste. But she didn't call them dishwashing liquid and toothpaste. She said, please go buy me Colgate and Sunlight.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. That's you. There are many brands that have that, you know, they have established that. I don't know if it's because they are the ones that started with the era, because Colgate has been Colgate ever since, you know. Colgate has been there for a long time. I don't know if it was Colgate first or it was Aquafresh first or whatever these other ones.
I even forgot there was something called Aquafresh.
You see, exactly. That's what because when someone says toothpaste, they call it Colgate. You know, yeah, exactly. I've seen it on one conversation where someone from South Africa was speaking to someone from America. You know, you could hear that the terms they used. He used toothpaste. The other one said Colgate, you know, and then the guy was like, what's Colgate? And then you can see that, oh, so in South Africa we used to calling toothpaste Colgate. So they've won us over already. Colgate has won the battle between the Colgate thing. So now my battle is to win the Soxx thing, you know. Yeah,
no. And I bet you'll win it, because I've owned colourful Soxx.
Yes.
Before,
yes.
but not by intention. I didn't wake up saying I want colourful Soxx today. But now with introduction to Soxx By Imbe, I'm buying on intention now. Well, so I'm winning that. So
on intention.
Buy on intention. You know, we put people on this show. People will put people on. And so for me, my mindset is. And again, this is talking to the mindset that we have as South Africans. Previously, I think I was like, when I started opening my mind to saying, okay, I don't want to keep patronizing foreign brands, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of South Africans who are doing fantastic things, and especially let's move to a fashion context, because we are in the business of fashion over now. I was looking at, okay, so I want to just like rebrand my entire style, and wear. So I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to wear other people's shirts. I'm gonna make my own t-shirts and wear my own stuff, because that talks about owning the value chain. But other stuff that I do not have the time nor the money to be making, like jeans and shoes and socks and underwear and all and hats and glasses. I said, okay, if I don't want to go into that space, who are the South Africans? Me saying South Africans, preferably black South Africans. But if you're still South African, that's still a win for me. That I can support and wear their brand, because if I buy from you, you'll end up buying from me. We end up buying from each other. That's how we strengthen our communities, and that's how we strengthen our economic base. I'll tell you a story about how I started wearing Batu shoes. I'll tell you a story. So it was the same thing. I said, okay, my sneaker game was terrible. It was terrible. I didn't care about my sneakers. People would look at me. I'm like, what are you wearing? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I'd wear Nikes that are just not fashionable. And I said to myself, okay. Then I went and I bought some. I went to a place called Shoe City. I got a place called Mancini's, and certain other Nikes that were shaped a certain way. I'm like, once I wore them, I'm like, I feel better. And then my overall look improved. Then I remembered, and I'm like, I've been hearing about this sneaker for quite a long time, and this is a South African brand, and it's growing. So I said to myself, and also I do public speaking. So I said, okay, look, listen. Every time I plan on doing a speaking gig, I want to be representative of South Africa. And then I said to myself, because I thought about this 2 years ago, I said, when I do a speaking gig, I should just wear Batu shoes. Another friend of mine said, no, you must wear Jordans. I'm like, why am I wearing Jordans when I'm speaking? I'm like, yeah, it sets a trend. I'm like, what trend am I setting? What trend? I'm like, let's be local, let's rise together. And then a couple of months ago, I said, let me buy the shoes. I went and I bought them. I think the Moja X edition, the black ones. See, I've got them on now. I'm like, I like it. Like, they're so comfortable, and they look good, and they're high quality, and they fit well. And then I felt like I was bouncing. I guess just bouncing. After that,
that new shoe thing.
After that, all I can think about is Batu. And it's not because of how well he's doing. Then I started looking at, like, how well is this guy doing? Wutio. I'm like, this guy is doing the things that make the things not to be done.
That guy is crazy.
The guy is crazy. But then he's killing it on all ends. And I honestly believe it's the quality and the passion he put behind the shoes and the range that he has. I even went and bought a friend of mine pink Batu shoes. I'm like, oh, this is so lovely. It's so nice. I'm like, yeah, they're fantastic. So every single month, I'm buying Batu shoes. The moment he comes up with athletic wear, I'm buying them as well. That's how I came to it. So I went to the store in Newtown. I said, I've been hearing about Batu for so long. I want some shoes there. And then she was like, okay, so what is it about? Which is the best one? Because I didn't know much about it. And then she said, here are the shoes. And she said, I bet you'll be back. And she was right. And then I also asked myself, so who else are the South Africans that I can support? And she pointed me in other directions. And I said, after that, I was like, we as South Africans are doing some fantastic things. From clothing, like Tula Cindy's doing some great stuff. Makosa, they're doing some great phenomenal stuff. David Klale doing great stuff.
The list goes on, man. Like, I mean, there are so many great people, man. There's also it's Batu for me. In South Africa, footwear. It's Batu and Drip footwear that are doing.
I've heard of Drip footwear. I don't know much about them though.
No, he is in 1 year throughout the whole COVID thing. They managed to beat COVID really well. He started alone in February, and now I think he has about 48 employees. Opening stores, crazy. Yeah, man, I mean, like,
who owns Drip?
Okay, I'll show you the name.
Yeah, we'll find the Drip guy. For now, I'm calling you the Drip guy. I'm gonna find you, get you on the show so you can get your story. And then I think I might as well buy some of your shoes, because I've seen. Because I think I've seen, like, he's got grey ones and black ones.
Yeah, you know, like, it's such an overwhelming feeling when you finally see someone wearing South African brand, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was walking down the street one day and I'm like, someone was wearing Batu shoes, and I'm like, so if Theo just goes past one of these guys, how does he feel? Like, how does he feel that, oh, that's my thing, you know, I started it from day one, you know, that feeling, that overwhelming feeling, you know, that's what some of us are still working to get, you know. That's what we want. That when I say the bigger picture, that's what we want, you know. I want to be walking down the street one day and see someone wearing my socks. I'm like, oh, okay, that's me. Oh, nice, and walk away, you know.
And walk up like, oh wow,
yeah,
look at
wow.
that.
Even though they don't know that it's mine, but then the fact that they're wearing it is actually something, you know. The aim is not to get known, but the aim is for the product to get known. To
be known. Yeah. So you want to be a household name in essence.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I already am amongst my peers, or let me say my age group and my generation, you know. I've realized that, oh, okay, so
I'm a 2000.
So many people know me, you know, like I'll be working sometimes on a random day and someone will be like, hey, sure, Soxx. And I'm like, oh, you know me, and then we'll walk. You know, it's I've realized, and someone really did come and approach me and tell me that one day I was chilling on the couch and my family was having a discussion about you. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, no, my mom is really crazy about you. Like she talks about you a lot. You know, she boasts about you. She says that you're doing such a great thing. And I'm like, oh, I never knew. But like, you must, stuff like that, you shouldn't let them get into your head. You know, like they mustn't really distract you and make you lose focus, because I feel like sometimes those things get into your head and you're like, yeah, I'm famous, you know. You walk around with that pride that I'm famous. Humble yourself and you'll go very far.
They call it not buying into your own PR. Yeah, so and like also we again I don't know what you're going to do once you get to that point. How do you handle that type of fame and love and press and all these things coming to you at once when you have never ever been exposed to it? So how do you handle that?
To be honest, I feel like as time goes by, you get used to it, you know. Like I'm saying right now, there are some people that are approaching me out of nowhere, you know. It's an exciting feeling at first, you know. You're like, oh, so at least people are seeing my work, you know. At least people are seeing the good things that I'm doing. So you actually grow into it. And then you also learn to treat the people properly and all that, you know. Yeah, so it's one thing you grow into. Yeah, it's not one thing you can get used to instantly.
Alright, cool. So then on the thing of sharing knowledge to the younger generation, and when I say a younger generation, anyone who's a day younger than you, still younger than you.
You can even say the older people, because I remember someone older than me, he was like, you inspire me. I'm like, what are you saying? He's like, yeah, you're doing a lot of great things, like you're doing things that we couldn't do at our age. And I'm like, that's the lesson I'm trying to bring out, that no matter how young, no matter how old you are, you can chase your dreams at any point, whenever you're ready.
So what are what are some of the myths about I'm a 2000? Because that's what they call the generation. I'm a 91 baby, so I can't even say
I'm a 2000. People are saying,
what are they saying about you guys?
We don't have a future. We don't have a future.
You don't have a future. That's so sad. Why?
No, I feel like
oh snap!
People are judging from the lifestyle we actually live. You know, like from their time to our time, things have actually changed a lot. You know, yeah, younger people going out to these parties, what and whatnot. You know, yeah, people are judging us from that, and they don't know that we work at the back end, you know. Like, just like, I'll use myself as an example, you know. I do have fun with my friends, you know. I do go out and all that, but I never forget to focus, you know. There's time for friends, and then there's time for business, you know. Because business enables you to do all these things, you know, in the future. It will enable you to go out with friends and then whatnot. So you must not lose focus. You must have time for both. Don't just say you're going to focus on business and forget about your social life, you know. But have a balance. Have a balance in everything. Yeah.
So what message do you, about going into business, going into entrepreneurship, do you want to give to the older generation, the younger generation, people coming up? Because whether it's someone who's, let's say 12, 13, they want to start, or they're 17, 18, they want to start, over someone who's 38, 48, they want to start. What advice are you going to give them based on your experience?
Start now.
Start now?
Yeah, start now. Like
during COVID-19?
Start now.
It's best time, actually.
Start now. That's what I can say, you know. The moment you start having doubts about it, that means it's actually gonna work, you know. The moment you start thinking about something, like, oh, will it work? is this what I really want? Is this like, yeah, that's the point where you must just start, start now. Don't overthink. Don't think about, will people buy my product, will people do this, whatever it is. Start now. You never know if you are lucky or not, you never know. You really never know if you're lucky or not. So just start now. That's what I can say.
And then one of the biggest things what I like to do myself is you would have noticed by now, is to speak to people from everywhere so that I can learn, because for me the best way for me to learn is to have conversations like this.
That's true.
One of the most humbling things to do is to go to speak to people who are reaching the end of their life. Like this the person who could die in the next 2 weeks, not even in a bad way, but like the elderly, their 80s and their 90s, and you ask them, so but before we could go to the old age home, the restrictions on going to old age homes was there, I would go myself and also speak to people who are old, and then I would say, so what do you regret, and then what do you wish you would have done, and then the harrowing thing is that I would say, I wish I took more risks. I wish I started that business, or I wish I stopped caring less what other people think. And then now the person is at the end, or I wish I would have figured out at a younger age what this thing called life is about. And now they're at the end of their life and they're regretting it because they say, I only started living once my mother passed away. That easily could have been your story. Easily could have been your story. You're going to be like, I'm only going to start the Soxx brand when mom dies, so she's not there to stop me. Easily could have been your story. That's other people's stories. And that whole thing, you can see the regret in their life, or they wish they didn't abuse their bodies so much when they're young, and now they're paying for it in their older age. So the question to you, when you get to, let's say, a magic wand waved, you are now 89, 99, and then you're almost at the end of your life, what do you not want to regret?
Not taking risks.
Not taking the risk.
I feel like I want to be a big risk taker, like I feel like taking risks is essential in life, That's the only way you can see if you can do it or not, I mean, there's no point in thinking of something and just thinking of it only, Think of it and do it. So taking risks is important. I feel like that's one thing. If I don't take risks now, I feel like that's one thing I'll regret later on, because life is risky, man. The life is all about risks. The more risks you take, the more you elevate, So you move from here to here to here. That's by taking risks. So I'm telling you, no one in business starts a business without taking a risk. It's all about risk taking. When you start a business, you don't know that it's gonna be that big or it's gonna be how it's gonna go, but you just risk it all. So risk it all.
You want to risk it all. My house even.
My
car even.
We can take it. We can take it.
Where am I gonna sleep?
You'll make a plan. You'll make a plan.
That's what people are afraid of. They're like, so why don't you start this up? Like, I'm going to lose my house and my car and my relationship. I don't know what my wife is going to say. I don't have enough money. Ha ha ha.
And mostly when you do look at these successful entrepreneurs, I watch these documentaries of Elon Musk and so forth. They do complain about how they risked everything. At some point there was this other one I was watching. The guy was saying he risked losing his family over the business. So his wife even said that she left him for about 2 weeks to figure himself out and see what's going on. That's the risk he took for his business, and now it's booming. So you never know. I feel like the harder the risk, the greater the reward. The higher the risk,
the greater the reward. Okay, so speaking on entrepreneurs, right? So let's go international, then we're going to go local. Who are some of the entrepreneurs at a global scale currently alive today? They need to be alive today. So that means Rockefeller, we can't talk about Rockefeller because he died a long time ago. Entrepreneurs that are alive today. Give me a top 5 international entrepreneurs. Then we're going to bring it back local to Africa.
Elon Musk.
Top 5, yeah.
That's my number 1. Jeff
why?
Bezos.
And why Elon Musk?
Okay, actually Jeff Bezos is my number 1.
Because he's rich.
No. Apart from that, maybe you can give me some money after hearing the podcast.
Yo, Jeff, I'm gonna get you on the show. I'm gonna tag you and get you on the show.
Jeff he's really a good guy. I mean, he took. You can see that anything is possible through him, you know. I'm sure when he was starting his business, he never thought he was going to be the richest man alive, you know. That's the mystery about life, you know. That's one thing I keep on asking myself. Did he know? What did he do differently that's stopping us from doing the same thing, you know? Why can't a rich person come from South Africa? I mean, you be the top 5 in the billions, whatnot. Why can't it be in South Africa? What did he do that was different? Because he just started Amazon and then he grew it from there. That's how basic it is, you know. It's just that he found something when there was nothing, you know, and started it from there. Then it grew large, you know. Yeah. So he's number 1, Jeff Bezos. Elon Musk number 2.
Okay. Why Elon?
Elon is a risk taker. Darren is a big time risk taker, you know. He started so many businesses, and when he starts a business, he sells it after it becomes a success, you know. After the business becomes a success, he started, you know, PayPal.
Yeah, no PayPal.
PayPal. He started PayPal, and look where PayPal is now. He did the program.
I use them today. Yeah.
You see, but he sold it for like, I think I forgot how much it was, but it was for a lot of money. I think was it 22 bill. 25 billion. Yeah, 25. You see.
Yeah, that's nowadays you buy petrol with that.
But yeah, he found gaps in the market, did something, and then sold the business, you know. Yeah, so he's number 2, a very big risk taker, you know. His goal is for us to visit Mars. Imagine that. Yeah,
there's a funny meme that was like, what if Elon Musk is just a Martian who wants to go home?
I'd believe that too.
No one has been so passionate about going back to Mars.
Exactly. I'd believe that too, because he really has his mind fixed on that one thing, you know. Going to Mars, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually achieves it, you know. And then he came in with Tesla and did magic, you know. It's an electric car. Yes, there are electric cars around here, but then he found a gap in the market and took advantage of that, you know, and grew it, you know. Yeah, so he's number 2. And number 3, I don't really think they are the 2 guys that started Google. Also, they're amazing. They started it from nothing, you know. Yeah, and also Mark Zuckerberg.
All the tech guys. It's interesting that you are in fashion, but you focusing on tech guys. It's interesting.
There are stories of how they broke boundaries, you know. They managed to bridge between they managed to bridge between business and tech, you know. That whole funny thing, how they made it work, it's amazing. That's why you should find inspiration, you know. Yeah, and that's why I believe that I'm different from other local, I don't know if they do it, but there are some local brands that just want to sell locally, you know, t-shirts and all that. But my bigger picture is also going international, you know, out in Africa, reaching places where generally African brands don't reach.
Yeah. Okay. So you've given me 3. Just give me 2 more international entrepreneurs and business people.
I did say Mark Zuckerberg.
You did. You've given me Jeff Bezos. You've given me Elon Musk. You've given me Mark Zuckerberg. I promise I'm going to get all these guys on the show. Nice.
And the 2 Google chaps. There are 2 of them.
Larry Page and Sergey Brin.
Yes.
All the tech guys. This is quite interesting.
Yeah.
I know. I never would have thought.
Yeah, no.
Was it just because you're a 2000?
No, not even. Like, mostly when you go on YouTube, it's mostly these tech guys that have made it. Just like, what's that? What's the other guy, the owner of Alibaba?
Jack Ma.
Yeah, you see, it's also tech. Just how they started their brands, you know. And
so it's the story, not the industry.
The story is quite interesting. The story is quite. You never know. Maybe I'll do digital socks.
Digital socks. I wouldn't with augmented reality out there. You never know. As long as, but you picked a great industry to be in. I'll tell you why, because I believe that the only way you can be successful in business is giving people a product or a service that's needed and wanted. And if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, first you have your physiological needs, that is your shelter, your food and water. And I guarantee you that you always need food, you always need a place to live, and you always need clothes. Well, yeah, you always need clothes.
But you always need clothes.
You always need clothes. You always need clothes. So that's an issue that's not going out. Now, for the challenge for you may be to how you keep on innovating. So have you not faced a challenge whereby people are like, knocking off your brand? When I say like they're creating umkokotelo, where they're just
No,
creating fake brands.
I don't think we've reached that level of umkokotelo, you know. Yeah, because the moment you know that once they start creating a fake of your product, you've made it.
Yeah, okay.
That's how you can measure your success. You know, once they can start making a fake of your product, then you know, we are good. We are there. They recognize us. You know, they recognize us. So I don't think it will be that easy to make a fake of our product because I think it's unique. The styles and so forth. Maybe they can steal ideas and make their own or something similar. But all of these things, I thought of them in my head, and then I drew them.
So how do you mean competitive? Because it's highly competitive. Right?
You must move with the trends.
Move the trend.
Yeah, you move with the trends. You know, check. It's not like we're gonna be releasing socks every month, but when we do plan on releasing socks, you must check what's trendy, and then you release according to that. You know,
Okay, so back to the question of entrepreneurs. We've gone internationally. You've mentioned only one South African there, Elon Musk. But he's not South African anymore.
Yeah.
He left.
Forget he's from here.
He's this guy from Pretoria. Where you stay now? He's from Pretoria.
You never know. Maybe I'm the next one.
Yeah, you're the next one. I'll be like, I
had him on the show.
I had him on the show. Yeah, look at how great I am. Look at that, he's on the Forbes list. I'll be coming for you for my gift. For my cool drink. No, I'm joking. So in South Africa, who are some of the entrepreneurs, business people, just the top 5 that are interesting? So tell me who they are and tell me why there's an inspiration to you.
Many will know that Theo Balo is almost number 1.
Theo, my man, I think I can get you on the show, man. I'm a big fan of your shoes. I pay every month. I even buy for other people. It's so comfortable. Like I feel like I'm floating in them. You know what? Like I'm even going to learn the Vosho. Just see me Vosho in Batu. So tell me why is Theo such an inspiration for you, sir?
He's doing great things. He's a great guy. You know, you can hear from his story and how he came about with the brand. You know, he built the brand under true values. You know, he always talks about value chain and taking over value chain. You know, and that's what he is doing. The reason he started his brand was so that people could show off their socks. That's one base. You know, and I feel like that's one thing that makes me look up to him even more because he did something that was almost impossible. I don't think there were South African shoes before Theo, but they were. I mean, you had your, what do you call those, Dickies and
some of those Lokshin culture.
Yeah, Lokshin culture. Yeah, you know, you had those. But I feel like he put it on the map. You know, he put it on the map, like big time. He stuck himself and kept on doing that. You know, so it's Theo Baloyi, it's DJ Sbu.
DJ Sbu.
DJ Sbu must come tell us when
he go. Like you know, what I know is that when I remember a friend of mine said, I said to her, what are you going to do with your money? You must save it, invest it. And she said, hey, the great philosopher Zega said, I got money, I go down. So why did he guy hustles, eh?
He hustles for real. He shows us how to hustle. I feel like he's the one who's paving the way for many young hustlers. You know, he shows you that go through extra lengths, stand on the street if you have to stand on the street and sell your product. You know, that shows passion and drive. That guy can literally sell anything at the moment. You know, he can sell anything anyway. So I feel like he has learned the art of hustling. He also has a book.
I was about to say, isn't that in a book? I think I need to get that book.
He has learned the art of hustling. You know, in his books, he does mention how to do it. You know, how he learned how to do it. So, yeah, he's just great, man. He's just great. Everything he does is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's hustling. Yeah, so he was in music, and then he did what a lot of, you know, I heard a lot of people talking about this whole thing, the spiderweb doctrine and black economic empowerment and black ownership and all these things. And then he went and he you didn't just talk about it, he did it. With the More Fire brand, the energy drink, he also had the the cool drinks called More Fire.
Yeah.
He's got bread. He's the guy who wants to own the entire venture.
He's got almost everything, you see. So now he has bread and cold drink. People do eat bread and cold drink on a daily, you know. So now he's winning over people, what people want to eat
on a daily.
Just that the competition is higher there, you know. Coca-Cola has been here for a long time. You can't go wrong with Coca.
And then Kingsley Cola has been there as well.
Kingsley Cola has been there for a long time. You know, you can't go wrong. Red Bull has been here for a long time. You can't go wrong with that, you know. So he's going into a dangerous area, but then he's breaking through, you know. He's breaking through.
And it's paving the way for us. DJ Swell, I need to get you on the show as well, you know.
DJ Boo, I got you on.
Put you on the show, guy. Put you on the show. So you mentioned Tio, you mentioned DJ Spoo. Who else?
Number 3. Who else?
And you can't put yourself in there. That's not just not fair.
I must be there, man.
You can't put yourself in there.
Okay. The drip guy too.
The drip guy.
The drip guy too.
Yeah.
He's doing. He's not only into drip. I saw that he also bought a Legends Baba in Tembisa. He took it there. So he's an entrepreneur by nature. You know, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. Number 4. Who else? There's also Skinny's Boo. Skinny's Boo.
Who's he?
Skinny's Boo is he also sells socks.
Okay.
He also sells socks. So I feel like, to me, he showed me that it's possible. You know, the socks thing is possible. It's really possible. You know, he is really well known. You know, he's doing good things. You know, but I feel like he's still gonna do more things that are gonna shock us. So he's also he said I should call him an upcoming entrepreneur instead of an entrepreneur, but he is a full-on entrepreneur because he's been doing this for about 7 years now. So him, and not forgetting Vusi Tembekwayo, the big gun. That one is something else, man. He opened his own VC. You know, that's something that's close to impossible, you know, because VCs need money a lot. A ton of money. You know, a lot of money. So he funded himself and opened a VC.
I've met him on a couple of times.
You see, that one I feel like I have to meet him.
You have to meet him.
I have to meet him at one stage in my life, you know.
He used to be a personal inspiration to me as well. Just like with everything that he's been doing, the books and the speaking, and also being South African as well. And then especially in a market which has been driven by people who are internationals. And then for him to say, I'm a South African, I'm going to put myself on the map, I'm going to put South Africa on the map as well. And not only am I going to build a business, I'm going to go and fund a business as well. And he's garnered a lot of hate. He's garnered a lot of hate for what for what particular reason I don't know, but he's also done a fantastic number of things. He owes me a favor actually. You know, I was at a book signing of his and he said I should hit him up. So I'm actually planning on getting onto the show, and then when that happens, when that happens,
I'll be here. I'll wait to.
He'll be the camera guy. He'll be the camera guy. No, he does do a lot of great things. That's a solid list. That's a solid list. So Tio, DJ Spoo, the Drip Guy, Skinny Spoo, as well as VT. That's fantastic. So other than those people, who are some of the people that you've looked up to? Just not even in a business context or not on entrepreneurial context, but just on a global context.
You have your artist Casper Nyovest. I mean, I feel like his story is great. You know.
Casper.
Hey,
Casper Nyovest.
You see, his story is very great because
Mr. Fill up the stadiums.
How many stadiums has he filled up? He's
filled up Bafokeng. He's filled up FNB. He's filled up the Dome.
Orlando Stadium.
Do you understand? Like, when I was telling my dad that story, I said it's like, oh no, they're filling up. Was the FNB stadium one of the stadiums? I said they're filling up FNB. And he said, my dad was like, what's going on there? No, it's a hip hop artist is putting on a show, supporting artists, and then you're gonna fill up the Dome. Of what are the stadiums? And it's like that's fantastic, because what you have to understand is that there's only a few people who managed to fill up that stadium before Casper. Think about it. There's Orlando Pirates,
Orlando Pirates,
Kaiser
Kaiser
Chiefs, and the head of the ZCC church during Easter. That's the original fill up the stadiums there. Only those. Then you have Casper. That's amazing. Like what he's been doing.
And when you think about it, it's an organization. He's like one man. Casper Universe.
Yeah,
it's
a brand.
It's a brand.
You know? Casper Universe is not a person. It's an entire organization.
You are a business, like your
yeah, baby. Yeah, you are a business. Yeah,
he's a business. You know, on his own. So stuff like that are great, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure for him to think about filling up the dome, it came to him as like a thought, like, oh, I can do this, you know. Why can't I do this, you know? He went on and did it, and it's great, man. It's great. From dropping out of school to becoming one of the greatest artists
alive today. Yeah, I was in South Africa.
We never know, even globally.
No, I'm saying for at the current moment. At the current moment, in the 5-10 years in the future, I'm sure it's going to escalate even further. He was on I think it was the Breakfast Club. I think it was that he did an interview there, and he went on saying that he owns his own music, he produces his own music. He did a value chain. We're talking about value chain. He owns that all end to end, and then also the Americans asked him, so give us a comparison in SA when it comes to hip hop and being an artist. Who are you the equivalent to like? So he is like, if you were to think of like a Jay-Z or a Kanye West, that's what I am in South Africa. I'm like, word. I'm like, word.
You see, that's actually what businesses should do. You know, we should own our own value chain. You know, we should move from having the factory,
Speak closer.
Or having the factory, having the store, having the trucks to deliver, you know, the whole chain should be yours, you know. That I feel like that's one way to be great, you know, when you have all those things, you know, money is circulating within your business.
It's actually amazing that at the age of 18 you're actually thinking like that. It's fantastic. Kudos to you. That means 10 years from now you need to have done something, chief. You need to have done something. 10 years from now I'll look at this guy, I'm like, what's it? No, but I believe you'll get there in your own time. So you've given me Casper. Just give me two more people. You just outside of just entrepreneurship. Like you said, you look up to artists. Who's another artist that you look up to?
Another artist that I look up to. You have your Nasty C.
Who?
Nasty C.
Nasty C.
Yes,
the Zulu man with power.
The Zulu man with some power. Yes, he is also good because he manages to, you know, do great things, man. His music is great. We can say he's best even in the world because he's internationally known, you know. You can go Tokyo, your USA's, he's known there.
Didn't he have an ad on Spotify, like in Times Square, like he had an entire...
Exactly, his album was there. You know, I mean, such moments, you know, I feel like...
It makes you proud to be a South African.
Yeah, it makes you proud to be South African, like, oh, so this guy, he's from here, you know. One day we also want to be like that, you know. Have Soxx there in Times Square, you know, coming up. Boom.
Soxx By Imbe.
Hey, I die.
You die.
I die. Yo. Yeah, but moments like that, you know, we start small. It starts with a billboard in your neighborhood, you know, and then from there, billboard at a highway, you know. From there, billboard in Center, in Joburg, and it grows until you have like 50 billboards all around the country, and then one pop up in the Times Square, you know. Yeah, so it grows. Like, I mean, these things take time. Like I said, you just have to work towards it, you know. Show your passion and your drive, and you'll definitely get there. Yeah.
Good. Okay, give me one more artist.
One more. I don't think there's another one.
You don't think it's just those two?
Yeah, just those two, and then no, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what are some of the questions that you'd like to ask me? Because I give the guests to ask myself questions.
What questions would I want to ask you?
If you have any. If you have none, we can...
I don't really think I have any questions to ask, you know, because I believe, as we're talking now, I learned a lot from you, you know. Like, I feel like you've answered some of the questions that I didn't know, you know, and you know, based on what you've been through and what you're doing, you know, you've come across also challenges and all that and stuff like that. I've told you mine, you know, as an author, what challenges do you go through and so forth, so on and so forth. Like you saw, I've been naming tech people, you know. I don't care the industry. I feel like a challenge is a challenge, you know. If you're able to beat it, what if I bump into something similar in my industry,
true.
you know? How do you deal with challenges and so forth? Yeah.
So you asked me how to deal with challenges.
Yeah.
Do you know Jacob Zoom? Okay, right. He had a song that he used to sing. Challenges. I think the biggest challenge that you come across, I don't care which industry it is, what you are going through, is the challenge of self-belief.
True.
Self-belief.
True.
If you don't have self-belief, you're finished. You're finished. Just stop. Just stop. Because from you, I can sense that you have a lot of self-belief. And if that's gone, it doesn't matter if your mother believes in you, your father believes in you, society believes in you, like the universe believes in you, which I believe they do. But if you don't believe in yourself and you quit on yourself, then it's over. That for me, like every time I write a new book, I always start with focus on yourself. That's the very first person that you should focus on. That's the most important person that you focus on. Because if you don't have yourself right, how are you going to create a great Soxx brand? How are you going to be a great husband and father? How is it that you're going to serve the world where you yourself haven't gotten yourself right? So the whole concept of self-belief. And most of the stories, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I'm sad, people are going to hate my product, people are not going to do all this negative talk, is stuff that we make up by ourselves. Maybe I just sat down and just been having these negative thoughts. I'm like, hey, like me, I don't think I can do this. No one else told you that, but you did. So that entire thing, if you don't believe in yourself, you're finished. And the biggest enemy that you are ever going to face, come across, is yourself. Look in the mirror, that's the number one enemy that you're going to face. I know that you say you're from Vanda, Toyando. We know that people blame things on black magic, witches and wizards and lightning and all these things. Not even only there, but everywhere. They'll blame demons, they'll blame they'll blame that person doesn't like me, that person is blocking me, or that person. But it's like sometimes we bewitch ourselves by our own negative self-talk. That's the thing. That's the hardest thing. So when I say I'm going to write a book, like when I say I was going to write a book, if in hindsight, not a lot of people said that you can't do this. Only a few people said. Other people were like, okay, that's interesting. How are you going to do it? The self-talk came from myself. I was like, hey, I don't know if this is going to make sense. I don't know if they're going to like this. I don't know if it's going to take off or it's worth it. All that negative self-talk came from yourself. So the biggest challenge is overcoming yourself. I say it doesn't matter. There's a saying in the Orient that says it doesn't matter if you conquer an entire nation or the world, but you can't conquer yourself. Because because if I could beat down the person that cost me the most, I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be alive. I'd go back and please go kill the person who's hurting me the most. It would be me. So the biggest challenge. Once you sort that out, everything else is fine. It's like entering into actions with boldness, picking up the phone and calling someone, organizing, starting a podcast, or writing a book, starting a business, saying that you want to reach greater heights of achievement. At the end of the day, it first starts with yourself. That's where it comes from. Everything else, like if you've got the strong self-confidence and certainty that this Soxx brand is going to work, it doesn't matter if the government says we're not going to find it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find it.
You're gonna find a way.
You will find a way. And there's a saying that I like saying, and people say that they think that it's arrogant or that it's not considerate of another person's feelings. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't really care that much when you say, with or without you, this thing is going to work. With or without, whether you're there or whether you're not there, I'm going to make this work. And then when you say to that person, with or without you, this is going to work, and then you say to them, you need to make a decision whether you're going to be part of my success story or not part of it. Period. End of story.
And one thing I've realized in my time of selling Soxx, people love undermining. They undermine your product, but then the moment they start seeing you moving into greater spaces and greater heights, they act like they were there from day one. You know,
They see
they'll be
it.
supporting you like, oh no,
So
guy,
now
we've been with him from day one, man. Yeah, this guy, what,
and then they want to take selfies with you.
They're like, but my man, I just asked you to buy a mere pair of socks, and you're like, no, man, I don't do local brands, because there are people who don't do local brands, you know. There are people who don't really believe in supporting local, you know. I really don't know why and where that comes from, you know, because it's better to support someone you know than someone you don't know, you know. These Nikes, these what. And the problem starts when the other black person feels like buying your product is enriching you, you know. They're making you rich.
What's wrong with that?
By buying your product.
What's wrong with that?
My point exactly. You're not making us rich directly, but you know, they just start feeling like if I give him money, he'll be better than me. You know, we love treating life like it's a competition, when in reality we're all moving our own paths. You know, we won't walk the same journey. None of us are gonna walk the same journey. You know, be happy for someone else, clap for someone else when it's your turn. Your turn will come, definitely. If you put in the work, if you put in everything, your turn will come. The problem is with my 2000, like you've been calling us.
I didn't even know you guys called my 2000. I just heard the term. I'm like, it sounds funny. Let's put it on. Yeah.
The problem with our generation is we don't want to work, but we want to enjoy the nice things, soft life. Like
you want the soft life. You snowflakes.
Yeah, we want the soft life, but we don't want to work. You know.
Yeah.
The difference. That's the difference. I feel like I want to work, like for real. Put me in a challenging situation. I want to work. I remember I was telling my brother the other day that, you know, I'm just chilling here, but I feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing enough. I need something. I need to do something to make myself feel like I'm doing something, you know. I want a challenge. Yeah, so, and I know that if ever I want a challenge and I find one, I'm going to conquer it very easily. That's what I believe in. And yeah, the black people must start losing that mentality of, when I buy from you, I'm enriching you, or when I buy for you, he's becoming better than me, and whatnot. We can't all be entrepreneurs. That's one thing for sure. We can't all be doctors, you know. We can't all be musicians and all that. Find your path, stick with it, run with it for the long run. You know, you never know how it's gonna work out.
100%, and also have that certainty, because when you start becoming successful as a black person, guess who fights you the most?
You're old. You're old.
He said it, not me.
You're old. You're old. Oh, it's a given fact. It's a given fact. I've heard of that someone say that they say that the people that bring you down when you are successful is your own. You know, people start comparing and so forth and so on and so forth. You know, speaking of comparing, you know, Drip and Batu, they both shoe brands and they both well known. You know, I've once gone through comment section reading, and then someone was be saying Batu is better than that, and then Drip is better than Batu, what I mean, there's no need for competition, man. There's no need for competition. Rather let's help each other, you know. Support them both, you know. Support them both. One thing they were both smart about, you must check their stores in Newtown. Batu is right here, Drip is right here. Am I wrong? You must check it out. In Pretoria, Batu is right here, Drip is right here. You know, now one thing the buyer does now is Drip and Batu is right here. It's no more, if it was only Batu, the question was going to be, do I really want a shoe? Now the question is it Drip or is it Batu? Yeah. So now you're just going to have to definitely buy a shoe between the two, you know. It's no more, do I need a shoe? It's which one is it? Do I want it? Yes. So people see it as if they are competing by putting themselves in the same street. It's actually a marketing technique that people don't know, you know. It's only an entrepreneur that will see that, oh, so this is how they're working. So then that's what they did. Now everyone that goes past this bill is gonna be like, is it Drip or is it Batu? Yeah, that's how they did it.
That's fantastic. I'm actually going to ask them about how they did that. Yeah, I think I'm going to give myself a couple of Drips in the coming year. A couple of them, not just one. You must go and buy, guys. Go and buy. Also, another thing, like how do you overcome this whole thing of saying, can I please get a free pair? Hey,
Yo,
just in jail. Like, it's just a couple of socks. I'm like, no, guys, it doesn't work like that. I had to work. I had to get the money. I had to have the manufacturer. I have to sell
That's
them.
the hardest thing, man. That's the hardest thing. Especially coming from like friends, you know. Friends will be like, I'm your friend. We've known each other for such a long time, and one pair won't hurt, you know. One pair really hurts, man. One pair hurts a lot because you go through so much dying for your business
for that one pair.
For that one pair, you know, hoping that one pair can bring in something, you know, for that so that the business can grow, you know. That's the problem. People must stop looking at things like we are relatives, you know, and start paying and stuff like that, you know. And we mostly do this to photographers, what do you call them, designers and all that, you know. We'll be like, you just design for me, you know me, we've been friends for like 10 years, design for me a poster, you know. Personally, I used to do it, I won't lie. I used to do it.
So have I. We call them freeloaders.
You see, you'll be like, man, we've known each other for a long time, we're family, you know. It took skill for him to know that. At least thank him for doing it, you know. Give him something, you know. So we get it mostly from family and friends. That thing of like, one pay, man, one pay, we family, you know, that whole thing. Or someone will be like, I get this mostly from influencers, you know. They'll be like, just give me one pay and I'll post on Instagram, you know. You'll get the followers, you'll get the things and whatnot, you know. They do that a lot, you know. These Instagram influencers and all that. That's how they close you in, you know. And you fall for it because it's a good deal. I mean, they post your product for free and all that. But in true essence, it would be nicer if they were actually really supporting, you know.
If they were buying and posting.
And posting, you know. It's not that hard. I mean, it's not that hard. So yeah, we get it all over. Dealing with it. You feel bad for saying no, but I feel like it's the right thing to do. Yes, at some point you must say, guys, no.
I think also because not a lot of people understand the economics of it. That's why they can ask for free. Therefore, so where's this whole thing of free coming from? Like my dad used to tell me that there's no such thing as free out there. Like I said, I'm going there and I'm going to get myself a free lunch. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's no such thing as free. Someone has to pay for that lunch. Someone has to package it. Someone has to market it. Someone has to put it in the store. And then if it goes to waste, that's something they couldn't sell. And then someone has to pay for that. For example,
it's a lot. There's a lot at the back end of
a business.
A business. Yeah. There's a lot at the back end of a business that people don't really know, you know. People just want it for free, you know. So it's tough.
There's nothing that's free out there.
Nothing.
Even something that's free, there's something attached to it.
Yeah.
There's something attached to it. Even, do you understand? Even being lazy has an economic activity to it. It's work to be lazy.
It's work to be lazy, you know. It's work to be lazy.
Yeah.
Being lazy is something else, you know. Rest, yes, but then don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Like you. Like I said, our generation is into getting. They always want to get. They want the easy way out. Yes, that's the term. We want the easy way out. We don't want to work for it in order to get the easy way out. We just want the easy way out, you know. Yeah.
There's no such thing as an easy way out. There's a line that I like that says, if you do the things that are easy, your life will be hard. But if you do the things that are hard, then your life will be easy. So rather do the hard things. It's a hard thing to start a business. It's a hard thing to put yourself out there as an entrepreneur. It's a hard thing to go out there and sell. But the reward at the end of the day makes your life easy, because now it'll be easier for you to worry about your problems in a Bentley or a Porsche or a 3.5 million rand house or flying first class. I've got so many issues. Let me just chill here in first class. I would rather work hard so that I can get to that point. I myself, I work hard so I can be lazy. Sounds weird, right? But I want to work hard so I can be lazy.
I understand, and that's really true, man. I mean, there's so much that goes into business, man. As when it's starting, you know, it's very, very stressful. You know, like it's stressful in the sense that you just want your things to go. Whatever you're doing, you want it to move properly. You know, to move smoothly. You get social medias where you won't be getting as many followers as you imagined. You get your product, selling the product, you know, the back end of the business, the finances, you know, they don't come right and all that and all that. It's really stressful when that doesn't go right, you know, and it makes you feel like quitting, you know. At some point you'll be like, but what's the whole point, you know? And then when you start feeling that, you must start remembering how much time you put in to get to where you are now, you know. You're slowly growing. Business is not overnight, like it just doesn't happen the day you open the business, you flying, you booming.
Yeah,
these things like take time, you know. You have to work hard in order to get it. So honestly, I believe if you want to start a business, hang in there. You should hang in there. It's a bumpy ride. Some of us, I'm not saying this because I'm successful, some of us are still in the bumps, the bushes. We no signal, no nothing. no nothing.
no signal.
No signal. We're deep in the bushes now.
Yeah.
There's no navigation. You just have to go straight ahead and hope for the best, you know. Yeah, with putting in hard work.
The hard work is the important part. And do you have more successes than failures, or failures and successes? What's the ratio between successes and failures?
I feel like it's balanced, you know. They are in business. You can't say you only have success. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. You have more failures than success in business. That's one fact. Just that the failures build up and make success, you know. Failing. That one success that you get, if the ratio is 9-1, the one that you get in success, that's your boom, and you're gone. Yeah,
that's very interesting. So you as a male, right? So what advice would you give for? Because females can have a tough time in this country. We've seen the whole GBV thing, Me Too, and it's a really, really harrowing thing. So what message do you have from your perspective about to men and to women, how we can work towards, you know, resolving this? Yeah?
I feel like the problem starts when us men start feeling like women are becoming too powerful, you know.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
a power thing.
Yeah, men always want the power and so forth and so on. We're living in a different time now where we get female entrepreneurs, you know. I get so inspired when I see a female doing great, you know. I'm like, oh wow, she's doing great, started on her own, you know, competing with the best and whatnot and whatnot. And you must check that females that are really successful and they are on their own, they are very feared, you know. Very, very feared, you know. And I feel like that's the generation we should be moving into, like more female entrepreneurs, more female coming into the business sector and doing their thing, which is really coming to light, you know. It's coming to light. There's this slime officials, what it's in America. It's a young girl, I think she's 16, 17. She has her own slime business now. 2 weeks back she was moving into her own office, a factory. So she manufactures her own slime, the whole back end. She has it all on her own, you know, at 17 years old, you know. So it's great to see young female entrepreneurs, man. I'd like to see more of that in South Africa, you know. One thing I encourage women to go into business. Yeah.
And what are some of the challenges do you think that they will face? Given that they're females.
Given that they're females, they'll be undermined a lot. Like, people will look down on them, for real. People already, imagine, I'm a male and I'm young. People are already looking down on me, you know. Like, I mean, I get to a place and then someone will be like, oh, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 18. And they're like, get out of here. I'm like, hey, man, listen to what I'm here to say first, you know. Listen to what I have to say first before you kick me out, you know. And then after the pitch, they'll be like, oh, no, you came with something here, you see. So they'll be undermined a lot, you know. That's highly 100%. That's why many female businesses have a male front, you know. She's the owner, but then she has a male to front a business, you know, so that they can move forward. Yeah,
but that's baffling to me. Because why can't you be the male? Why can't you be a female front? You know? Yeah,
that's the problem. That's the problem. They are undermined, but they're very powerful. Females are powerful.
Yeah, they are. They're powerful. They are powerful. There's a kind of number of powerful females out there. DJ Zintle's a good one.
I was actually looking at her page today. In the hot train, seeing the era by DJ Zintle. She's now an ambassador of some for some champagne.
She has a champagne deal.
You see, I think she's a CEO or something like that. Yeah, you see, so she's really doing great, and then her music career as well is also booming. You know, so people like her, women also Bonang.
Bonang WhatsApp, yeah.
Bonang is also
She's killing it.
Bonang is also great.
Well, she's been killing it for such a long
see,
time. Yeah,
then you have your Boities.
Yeah, Boitie too.
You
Yeah.
see, so there are people that females can actually look up to, and us males can also take note from what they are doing. That anything is possible. They are fierce. They really fierce. Yeah.
And there's a business person. I definitely need to get onto the show. I was extended an invite. Couldn't follow up on that yet because I had a lot going on personally. Amanda Dambuza. I don't know if you've heard of her. I'm sure you've heard of the name. She's got a relationship with Verve. She's got a relationship with Verve, and she worked as a project professional. She's a CEO, international speaker, and her spirit is amazing. Her spirit is definitely amazing. So check her out. I'm definitely going to bring her onto the show. She's open to it. I haven't gotten around to actually extending the invite and setting the interview up, but I'm definitely going to make it happen. Amanda, I will see you on the show in season 2 in the coming year. Whether we do it virtually or whether we do it in person, it doesn't matter. I'm definitely going to get her onto the show. And she's also an author of 2 books, Baked in Pain, and the girl named Aya. She also came out with a children's book for a girl named Aya as well. I know. Also, if you look at the Miss SAs that have been winning, I was supposed to have Ndando Kunenet, she won Miss SA 2016. I was supposed to have her on, but she couldn't make it today. So earlier on today. Okay. Then you've got Zozi and the recent winner, very powerful woman out there. They're sending a message to young girls out there to say you can be you can be, so you are worth something, that you can go off and achieve.
Just like you said, that it's about who you are out there. The name. Some of these famous people have first made a name for themselves and then they created a business. If I'm telling you right now, if Casper West had to sell socks, they would sell really quick, because of who he is, you see, and that's the thing. So now I'm a nobody coming from nowhere, and coming here with the socks, it's harder for me, I need to first win the people over before they actually trust my product and so forth. So it's harder that way, but we'll get there. We'll slowly get there.
Yeah, no,
we'll slowly get there.
Slowly but sure.
We'll slowly get there. There's no way.
All right, cool. We're gonna go to a quick speed round where I say a word and then you give me the first thing that comes to your mind. For example, I'll say Lionel Messi, and then you tell me the first thing that you think about it. You can say footballer greatness, whatever it is. I'll say Cape Town, and you'll think of Table Mountain, whatever it is. Okay, ready? Okay, Limpopo.
Hot.
South Africa.
Greatness.
Black people.
Power.
Money.
Greed.
I'm at 2000.
Goats.
Greatest
of all time, yes.
Greatest of all time. Yes. Why do you call them goats?
Our generation, we are very well connected. I mean, we have so many resources that we can use at any time at our disposal. I feel like people should take advantage of that. That's one thing we must take advantage of. We are more connected. We have we're capable. So yeah.
But if you're not careful, people born in the 40s will still outdo you. These guys who saw World War II will still do more with
they're also powerful, but I believe that we have more power than them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a lot of self-confidence coming from Ama 2000, who are apparently lazy. No, I'm joking. You didn't say that. All right. Cool. Health.
COVID.
Entrepreneurship.
Hard work.
And then last but not least, Soxx By Imbe.
Greatness too.
The greatness. All right, cool. That has been myself and Imbe on the last episode for the NJ podcast season 1. We were on episode 20, so that's been 20 episodes that were recorded in 2020. And here I'm definitely going to get myself some Soxx By Imbe. Look, listen, I'll trade your book for some socks. That's what I'm going to do.
There we go. We spoke about this.
We can negotiate. No, you tell me what the price is, and I'm more than happy to support you in that area. That has been Imbelani Netshanku, fantastic guy. It's been a great conversation. Thank you very much for being on the show and giving me the time. And remember, guys, that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you're going after what you've always wanted to go after. and it's in alignment with your highest values, because that is the only way that you can truly live a fulfilled and successful life. So please go out there and change the world, because you are the only person that can. Thank you very much, my guy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.